All right, welcome back to the CYA Sideline Podcast. We're here to talk some sports this week. It's a bit slow going into the holidays, but we've got some big topics to cover. CFP is officially released. We've got some Heisman talk. We got some local basketball. So, Scotty, let's start off with the big local basketball game that happened. Westfield, PVI. Let's start with that. Talk about it.
Yeah, it's a cool local game because you got Paul VI, which is located right up the street here from the field house, and Westfield High School, which is less than a mile. In the Washington Post, Paul VI is the number one ranked team in the DMV, which is the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. They're the number one private school, number one overall school, and they're private. Westfield, ranked number 11, is the number one public school in the Washington Post. And they were able to match up, and I believe it was Westfield's second game of the year and Paul VI first. Paul VI took care of business. They won by like 40 points. They got a kid up there.
Yeah, you said PVI's got a pretty good player there.
Yeah, man. They got a kid up there. His name is Jordan Smith. I saw a couple of highlights. He looks extremely athletic, throwing some dunks down. I believe he's on his way to Duke. He's a 6'2", 6'3" guard. I think he's the number 2 player in the United States this year coming out. Good player. I'd like to go up there and see him sometime.
You definitely have to check him out. There's a Duke guy. They got a pretty good connection with PVI. Third recently. That'll be ended up there if he ends up.
Third.
Yeah. So, and Duke's one of the top 5 teams in the country with those guys playing some quality minutes. So, that's what we got for local basketball. On a CYA side, it's kind of quiet, Mark. Basketball games are just kicking off. Really don't get into full swing till after the holidays. Same with the flag football games here at the field house. So like I said, it's a little bit of a lull here because of the holidays. We take a bit of a break in the next couple weeks. So let's talk about some fun stuff that's coming up. First, let's kick off Heisman talk. I think we all have an idea of who's going to win that Heisman. They announced the finalists last night. I think the decision's this Saturday, right? I think it's Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
I think it's this Saturday.
Or is it the following Saturday? This is Army and Navy.
Yeah, it might be next Saturday.
Yeah.
But it'll be coming up here with the decision. All right, out of the 4, Scott, we got Love, Pavia, Mendoza, and Sayin. Who gets it?
I think it would have been a tough call until Indiana beat Ohio State. With that, I think Mendoza checks all the boxes. I think he runs away with it.
Mark?
No question about it. It has, as much as we early on, no one saw this coming. We never talked about it. I don't know how you couldn't give it to him now. They're 13-0. They took down Ohio State in the championship. They're probably the highest ranked. They are number 1 going into the CFP. Yeah, I think it's an easy call now. I think he won it.
I'm going to buck the trend. I'm going to go against you guys. I think last year, it was a give. In my opinion, last year, Genty should have won it. I know they gave it to Hunter. Genty, hands down, was the best player in the country.
Agreed.
Mendoza's 13-0. He's played great for that team. Statistically, I don't think those numbers are great. He's got worse statistics than Sayin and Pavia. So, in my mind, I think they're going to go and rebound from what they should have done last year. Love wins it this year.
Really?
I'm going to go with Love. His numbers have just been so good. I think he separated himself a little bit, and he stands out. Those 3 guys are they're almost the exact same statistics, with Pavia having the most yards. Their touchdowns.
That's why people that watch this show should not bet on anything Zack says.
That might be the case.
Statistically, their team,
they're 13-0. Okay.
Right. That's got to trump everything else. If you can carry your team to 13-0 and be first.
Why didn't they do that last year? That's not what the Heisman's about. It's about the best player in the country.
The best player in the country. And he's shown that he can not only be statistically right up there with all of them, but his team won every game.
Oh, the Heisman last year went to a player that was on a 7-5 team. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
It's not about what the team does. It's about the
right.
best player.
Well, we'll go with that. Yeah, we'll see.
Here's my opinion on that. I don't want to dwell too long on this. I think Mendoza's going to win it, but I hope Pavia wins it.
Yeah.
Wins it. I actually think he is the best player in the country. To carry Vanderbilt like that was impressive.
You're right. You're right about that.
Yeah. But I think Mendoza, people will vote for him.
You know, by the way, going back to what you said about Jordan Smith, is it Jordan Smith that's playing? We ought to invite him in.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
Show. That'd be fun.
Yeah, might be able to do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Who's the coach at PVI now?
I forget.
He used to be coach. No, Coach Harris is at
Coach Harris Western. We're going to have him on hopefully. So yeah.
Talk a little bit because they're projected. Well, they're one of the favorites to win state this year at the public school level.
Yeah.
They put a good program together. So, let's turn our, since we were talking about the Heisman, let's turn our attention a little bit over to the CFP. I know we've got the brackets out. You got any beefs with the bracket? Either one of you got beef with the bracket on who got picked, and we'll start with that, with beefs, and then kind of who we think is going to make their way through this bracket.
Want me to go first?
Sure, let's just
Hand it off, Scott.
I mean, let's bounce around with it.
Yeah, I mean, my thought on it is, the more I thought about it, the more I think they got it right. I mean, I think that, and I said this last time on the show, is it's very hard to penalize a winner of a conference championship game.
Or a loser.
I'm sorry, a loser of a championship game. I'm sorry. You can't penalize the loser of the championship game. So Alabama needed to be in. So then all of a sudden, you're looking pretty much at two teams in what we heard about. I mean, I'd probably add more teams in there if it was me, like Vanderbilt and so on. But it seems like it came down to Miami and Notre Dame. And when you're comparing them, just two teams, you got to go the head-to-head. And I think they got it right. I mean, and I'll tell you this, I'm tired of all the whining by Notre Dame. Oh, my gosh. Shut up. You are too entitled as it is already. Stop.
I'll go along with you that I think it's Bush League that they pulled out of the bowl game. I think that's a terrible example we're setting in this sports world. To go along with what you said, though, I think that team should have been BYU. You punished them for losing the championship. They're 11-1 without that championship game. That's a better record than Notre Dame. That's a better record than Miami, right?
And they did fall, but the thing is they weren't in the playoff when they were playing that game. So it wasn't punished that they went from in to out. They were already out, and they stayed out of the playoffs from ranking to ranking. So they did drop one spot, which you could look at that and say that they were punished, but they were never in. And so in terms of like what happens to them, they were never in, so they weren't really punished by not being in.
I think
I can't argue with you.
Yeah, they were ahead of Notre Dame. They were ahead of Miami, right? If you're gonna, because UVA couldn't take care of business and win the ACC, then I would say it's just. I think there is a little bias there. Obviously, there is SEC bias. I'm an Alabama fan. They got in. I said this to you both on Saturday. I thought they should have been out. And I think there's SEC bias. And I think the problem is that the SEC has so much pull, they threatened to no longer play a championship game if it meant that a team was going to be punished from being in the playoff. But you can't have it one way and then change it up on the other one. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look at when we're looking at the teams that did not play in the championship games, they were the ones the real benefactors of all this. Look at Ole Miss, Oklahoma. They just sat, didn't have to worry about anything. This idea that Notre Dame, and I'm totally with you. When they said they're not going to play in a bowl game, and they're
blaming the ACC.
Look, Miami beat them head to head. That's got to mean something. That has to mean everything when it comes.
Doesn't matter when it's played. If it's the first game or last game, it doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Yeah, because everyone's talking about the 3-loss Alabama. Well, the first game, you could go back and say, well, it's the first game. Well, if you're going to play that, well, yeah, maybe they have an argument, but you're not. It's a loss. First game's a loss. Look at the championship game was one of the 3, so they're a 2-loss team. Had they not been in the championship, if A&M had won the week before they were in the championship, well, I guess it would have still been Alabama playing A&M, right? No, it wouldn't. It would have been Georgia A&M. And then Alabama would have been sitting at 9. Would have never this discussion wouldn't be happening because they would be at a 2-loss, been in. So again, I hate to see these teams pulling out of the bowl games, even though
there's 10 schools that have pulled out. 10 or 11 schools that have pulled out.
Is it that many?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, the amount of money that they're giving these schools to play, I guess it doesn't matter, but.
The money's gotten so big.
What was the stat you told me the other day about the receiver for
Jeremiah Smith, right? Is the Ohio State receiver.
Yeah.
He makes more money playing football at Ohio State than Jackson Smith and Jigba, Brian Thomas, and what was the other receiver I was telling you? Lad McConkey. Yeah, those guys are second and third year NFL stars. And this guy's in college making more.
Which is why that they won't go to the bowl games, because you've got your stars. They're not going to take a chance on getting hurt.
No.
They're for what? For an exhibition
I
game?
think there's going to be some reconfiguring of things. I know it'll be tough because there's so much money involved, but I think it's going to be really hard to continue with these championship games and have the CFP the way it's done. There's got to be some policy. There might be a policy that is, hey, if you make it to this game, whatever happens in it doesn't matter. Or they've got to change the structure of it and say we're going based on the regular season, and it's announced before the championship games. Maybe the new policy, and I know we've talked about it a little bit, they're saying, oh, they might go to 16 teams, and here's how it works, 4 ACC, 4 Big Ten, and those things. And maybe it's, okay, last regular season game, rivalry week, here's our top 16 teams. These top 16 teams make the playoff. Now we go play the championship games. It's already determined because you can't have – I mean, it's just chaotic right now and there's no consistency. It's so subjective. We talked about it last week. There's no definitive policy that says if you do X, you make the playoff.
Which is
Well, I
why
guess that's how it is, though, in basketball and everything. There is no exact
I mean, they have
policy.
the strength of schedule. They have the strength of opponent. They go through all those statistics, the analytics in basketball.
Yeah.
And most of that 64-man team is a conference champion.
32 and 32.
Yeah, so you got 32, and then
Yeah.
you could pretty much lay it out.
Yeah.
Like the other 32 teams, you know who's going to be there.
36 and 32.
Yeah.
something
Well,
like
figure that out for football. I
Yeah,
mean,
but-
figure out like a 32 game, because then you'd have all of your conference champions are in, and they're the top seeded teams. And then you got guys like JMU, which, look, you
Well, they're
should
in
have-
because they would be in because they're a conference champion.
well, and I'm thinking along the lines of Duke. It's sad to me that Duke goes and plays and wins the ACC. That should account for something. I think that they're playing an exhibition game to win the. Okay,
And-
so they go home with a trophy and that's it. They don't get to. I
And
don't
it's
know.
kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament, right? There's teams that win that shouldn't have won the conference that go on and make a little Cinderella run. What
Yeah.
about football? Can you
Basketball's
not?
a little
Yeah.
different.
It's a little different, but
because it's more player dependent in basketball. So if you have one good player, you can make a run. I heard somebody mention this, and I don't know if it's feasible about the bowl games. Because actually, my thought, I think it's kind of a cheese move for Notre Dame not playing in the bowl.
Mhm.
Trust me. But I'm not as upset about that with them and their complaint as they are trying to blame the ACC for them not getting in.
yeah, because there's
Be a football member.
yeah,
Miami is a football member. You're not.
and the ACC is going to push for their.
Exactly.
That's basically what the ACC president, the commissioner, what is saying.
If
We've
you
got
can-
to promote our football teams.
Yeah, and if you can stand on your own to be a football program, not be part of it, then market yourself to be in. That's what I think.
What
But I want to come back. One thing, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is I agree. There's probably a little SEC bias, but I think there's a Big Ten bias as well. It's the other ones that get debiased. Okay, this is totally homer, but I can give you a couple examples. One is they skirt by. Everybody likes to. You have to move that word out of there. Complain about the bias.
Mhm.
Right, you see. How in the world is Ohio State at 2 and Georgia's 3? Name me one thing that Ohio State's better in, that's done better, besides that they lost in the championship game.
I think that's the only separator. To be honest with you, I think that's the only thing they can say. And I know you're going to go back to when it happened in Georgia lost the SEC championship and they dropped a bunch of spots and all that. But I think that's the only thing that separates them. That they lost to the 2 seed. 1 and 2 played each other. They lost in the championship, and Georgia had that loss to Alabama, and then they answered. But
Okay, I get that, and I mean, it's really not a big
But I'm with
deal.
you.
The 2-3
No,
is not a big deal. Okay, then we step back. How is Oregon, when you start looking at it, over Ole Miss and A&M?
don't understand that one.
When there's been a tie with everything, in every situation when there's a tie between the Big Ten and the SEC, they put the Big Ten team in front with losses. Take a look at that. What does it say?
Well,
So,
you can't.
there is a bias, I think, for both of those.
I will
conferences.
say, in my mind, the Texas A&M one, them being ahead of Texas A&M, I think Texas A&M had the weakest SEC schedule you could possibly
Agreed.
have.
Agreed.
I could see that. Ole Miss, not so much. I mean, Ole Miss's schedule isn't an Alabama or a Georgia or a Texas schedule.
But they
right?
had some tough teams.
They played a decent schedule, but I still
And
think they
Oregon
were on.
played an okay schedule
They
as
just-
well.
yep.
Yeah, middle line. And I'm actually not complaining about it. And I kind of, in a way, I think the bias for both of those conferences, in my opinion, there is one, is good for the sport. Those are the big teams. They're the ones that are making the draws, and you kind of want it for the health of the sport. And I like a couple of these type of teams getting in too for the health of the sport.
You need it. I mean, whatever happens, they earn the right to be there. You can't not give them the right. Who cares? Like we joked, it's a 21-point game, right? The spread to start. So what? Let them go earn it, and maybe who knows?
You never know,
right? Because we had the App States and Michigan games and things like that. Anything can happen,
right?
So I don't think you should punish these guys, as in the JMU's, the Tulanes, the North Texas. You can't do that. I think a problem that leads to it is they have too many of the talking heads of the conference on the CFP. And I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how you get, because the people with pull are the Big Ten and the SEC.
And they got the pool. They got the money. They got the pool. They got the TV contracts.
And it just continues to be that way, right? It's so much so they're talking about ACC schools leaving the ACC to go to the SEC. Mm-hmm. So why do we have conferences?
Do that in a heartbeat.
Why do we have conferences? Why not just have the group of 6 and the Power 4? All Power 4 teams. You can pick who you want to play out of the Power 4. You've got to schedule 9 games. Figure it out. And
I think they got a lot more work to do to figure this out, because when you talk about JMU, which we're local to JMU, we're JMU fans. These guys, if you just look at who they've played, they haven't played anyone of substance like you would with Ole Miss, Alabama.
They played Georgia, one Power 4.
Louisville.
One Power 4. And
Louisville. Say that right.
Louisville. Yeah, so you think about that. These guys are not, how can you compare them losses when you say that, well, Alabama's a 3-loss program compared to JMU or compared to any of these other programs? 3 losses, but look who they're playing. Look at their schedule. Look at the gauntlet they have to go through compared to, I don't know. I think the whole system there's a lot of flaws in it. I hate that they go just based on these losses, because then look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is complaining because they're a 2-loss, but the 2 losses they had were against the best teams they played.
Both playoff teams.
Yeah,
I'll give you one about the JMU thing, though. Who's the number 1 team in the country?
Indiana.
And who were most of his players?
Yeah.
Where are most of his players from?
Yeah.
They were JMU guys.
A lot of JMU guys.
So
that's a great point.
Look, I don't fault that. What I fault is the fact that JMU hasn't played anybody of substance.
They can't choose their schedule.
I know. Again, this is created by this whole event. If you're gonna pull JMU in here, because I'm afraid JMU sadly might get slaughtered by Oregon. If they come out and do well, that'd be really cool for everybody, because then we're all.
I don't think they win it, but I think there's gonna be a shocker. I don't think they win it, but it's gonna be a closer game than the 21.5-point spread.
What's the spread in Tulane?
I haven't seen it. I have to pull it up, but
because that one, I would be more surprised if JMU covers than Tulane. I think Tulane, I mean, they seem a little bit more ready to play in this.
I agree.
I mean, I watched the championship game with JMU. It doesn't even feel like you're watching Big Ten, SEC. It's different. It looks different. The eyeball tested. So
it is.
I don't know. I can't.
Oh.
There's your pause. And then, okay. Hey, after talking about all that stuff, well, maybe we should talk about who we like in the CFP.
Let's go. We got our brackets. This is an easy one.
What, you want to just go run down some games?
Let's run down.
Well, that first round games. The first round games. We got a couple. Let's start with JMU, Oregon. JMU and Oregon. Obviously, we've discussed.
I'm going Oregon.
Yeah, just to win. We're just taking straight up to win.
Don't worry about the cover. Who moves on?
Yeah, Oregon moves on.
Yep.
I think it's hard for Oregon to move on. The other game we got, Alabama, Oklahoma. It's a rematch. Oklahoma beat Alabama. They're going to Oklahoma. What do you got here?
Well, we like Alabama, but you know what? The way that they performed and watching, I think young Mr. Kalen DeBoer's got some. He's got to do something with his play call. He's got some adjustments he's got to make. But based on that performance alone, I'm going Oklahoma.
Go ahead, Scotty.
You guys are Alabama people. I'm not. I'm taking Alabama in this game. I think that the press that they're getting, these players are too good. I think they have a little something to prove. That's one reason. And the other reason is every time you pick an Alabama game, you get it wrong. So,
what
been through the.
Yeah, so
He has
I'm going
been-
Alabama. You took Oklahoma.
I think it's interesting that you said they're too good. Are they too good? I mean,
I-
watching the eyeball test there, they're not.
I
they're
told
not
you
that
guys on
good.
Saturday, I thought it was one of the worst games I've seen
I
Alabama
think
play
they
in
were
quite
tough.
some time. I thought it was an awful display of play calling by the offensive coordinator, without a doubt. But I'm with you, Scotty. I just think their players are too good, and I think they're going to take it upon themselves, whatever it is.
Are they healthy? I mean, that was the big question. They didn't
Yep.
have their
They're
running
going to
back.
have 2 weeks off. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I'm going. I think Alabama wins this game and moves on,
Okay,
and they've
good.
got a tough match with Indiana. Next game, Tulane Ole Miss. I think we're all kind of Do you
I
think?
think Ole Miss wins that one.
Yep. Ole Miss
no
takes it.
matter what's going on at home, the
Yeah.
Ole Miss wins. All right, last one, Miami Texas A&M.
Miami could snake one out here, but I'm still going Texas A&M. Scotty?
I think this is a tough game. I think it 2 good schools, but I'm going to go Texas A&M as well in this game. That's a tough pick.
I'm going the other way. Carson Beck played in the SEC. I know he struggled a little bit late at Georgia. Like I said, I thought A&M played the weakest SEC schedule. I think Miami is going to go in and beat Texas A&M.
I can certainly see it happening. It's
Won't surprise me. Yeah, that one will be a good game.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go next round then.
All right, you got Texas Tech, Oregon would be the
We
matchup
all
based on our
agree that
pick.
that's going to be the matchup.
That's a big one
Yep.
for the
Where are they playing
for the
that?
quarterfinal. That one would be
in
one of
Texas
the
Tech.
no, that's
No.
one of the bowl games.
One of
Oh,
the bowl
that's
games.
right.
Once it gets to the
Neutral
the
site.
quarterfinals, it gets to the neutral sites.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go first on this one. I'm going to follow the Ducks, baby. I think the Ducks are strong. I'm going with them.
I can't. I got to take Texas Tech. I think they're one of the teams that can win this national championship. I think Texas Tech beats Oregon. I don't think Oregon has the firepower offensively like they used to.
I'm with you, Zach. I think Texas Tech wins and they win easy
Mm-hmm.
in that game.
You know what I think? I think the coach getting on TV and crying at the end of the game because the Red Raiders won and he's so proud. I think save that for the locker room. They're weak.
Mark's going.
Emotionally
Don't get
weak.
Mark going on the tangent about crying. He can't handle
Don't
that.
cry. Go into the locker room and cry all you want, but you got another game to play. I feel like they're emotional. They've spent emotional bucks. They're done.
All right, so the next one's a little different for us because we got Indiana, the number 1 seed, playing. We picked Alabama. You picked Oklahoma. So who does your pick move on, or does Indiana win the game?
Zach, you know who moves on? Oklahoma.
Wow.
Indiana's going down again. There's no more the emotional. They are spent emotionally. They won. They did the greatest thing ever. They came in number 1 in the rankings. They're done.
Scotty, what do you got? Are you taking Alabama? I know he's got Oklahoma. You taking Alabama or Indiana?
I'm agreeing with Mark, but I got Alabama. I think Alabama is going to beat Indiana in that round. Last year it worked a lot. All these bye teams lost, and I think it's going to continue in that game. I think Alabama's going to come in and win that game.
Indiana has everything to lose because everybody thinks now they are that team.
Yeah.
I think in this situation, I think what hurt Indiana is sometimes you need to be punched in the mouth, right? Nick Saban was famous for saying it. Sometimes it's better to have that loss before you get to the playoffs or the end of the year. I don't think Indiana got that true reality check. Alabama beats Indiana.
Okay.
All 3 of us have Indiana out in their first
I think
game.
so.
All
Let's
right.
move on with that though. So then we're gonna have Oregon playing. You guys think Oregon playing?
No,
No,
I have
no,
Texas
you
Tech.
have
Texas
Oregon.
Tech. I had okay.
Texas
so
Tech
we're
and
all those
Alabama.
up.
Who do you have going to the finals?
I got the Ducks.
Okay.
I'm all
the
in on the
Ducks
Ducks.
going to the final.
Yep.
As an Alabama fan, I don't know if they can keep up with Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech has got something special going on there, and I'm going to take Texas Tech to be in the national championship.
Man, you and I are thinking alike. I think Texas Tech in the championship. They're
can't
good
wait
on
to
both
replay
sides
this.
of the ball.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to replay this because Texas Tech is going to lose, and I'm afraid Texas Tech is going to lose to Oregon big.
Yeah, you got
Oh.
that buy is going to cost them, Mark. You
Yeah, we're
think
gonna
it.
see what happens.
All right, let's go over to the bottom half of that bracket. All right, everybody, we all picked Ole Miss against Tulane. So Ole Miss, Georgia. We know where Scotty's going. So Scotty, you want to tell us?
I think it's going to be. It was really close last time. I think Georgia's playing a little better now. Their defense has found its groove. So I do think that Georgia wins this game. But I don't know. The line will probably be a little higher than I'd like it to be. I think it's going to be a close game, actually. But Georgia wins.
Scotty, Georgia with a couple weeks here to game plan for Tulane. Tulane doesn't
Ole
have
Miss?
the
Ole Miss,
I
you
mean
mean.
Ole Miss. Wait a second. We were talking about Georgia Ole Miss.
Yeah, because we all picked
Oh
Ole
yeah,
Miss
we
to
picked
beat
Ole
too.
Miss. I'm sorry. Go back. Scratch that. Take that out. Pause. Yeah, Ole Miss, I've got winning this game.
Wow, he's taking your
No, I
Bulldogs
don't.
down.
I've got Georgia winning. And I'm looking at the wrong sheet.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to get him his glasses. God dang.
He is
Mark.
the oldest person on
That's
the
all
team.
right. That's all right.
back.
McAfee's got his bloopers too. So
Okay, so let's go back and restart that little section. So what I would say is Georgia, their defense was stunning against Alabama in the championship. Georgia is the best team right now in the country, in my opinion. So yes, they are going to beat Ole Miss.
I wouldn't go that far that they're the best team in the country. I think they're up there. Obviously, they're the number 3 team in the country. They're one of the best. I think there's too much going on with Ole Miss. As much as I can't stand Lane Kiffin, he had something going there. And I think not having him, I don't care if coaches are going back to coach, not having that guy there is tough. I think Georgia just gets it done.
Okay.
So the last one, we all had it a little different. Miami, for us, you had Texas A&M, right? Against Ohio State. What do you got, Scotty? Miami or Ohio State?
Oh, I think Ohio State wins this. I don't care if they're playing A&M or I took A&M or they're playing Miami. I think that one's going to be close.
Yep.
Like I said, I think Ohio State walks through that game next to the semifinals.
Me too. I think Ohio State's too good.
What I said about Indiana. Ohio State got the punch in the mouth they needed.
Yep.
And they blow out whoever they play in this quarterfinal match. They will destroy them.
So we all think it's going to be Ohio State.
Ohio State, Georgia.
That's
Tell
a
us.
big. That's good. That will be likely the highest rated game if they play each other in the college football playoffs this year. And I think Ohio State will win that game. I do.
God,
I hate to
he's
say
gotta
it.
go
I
against
want
his
Georgia to
Bulldog.
win.
You'll
Trust
be
me,
cheering
people.
for Georgia.
I want Georgia, but I think I've thought about it. If they play each other, I just think Ohio State's very complete on both sides of the ball and wins. It'll be a good game.
Disagree, and I hope your son's listening. Georgia is, again, I'll say it again, they're the best team in the country. Watching, everything about them was rolling the other day. I think it was because of the game planning more than anything. It's almost as though they knew what Alabama was going to be doing. I give Kirby Smart, when he's going to now start to work with his coaches to game plan against Ohio State, which they're probably already thinking that way, that they're going to have to keep all of this.
Game by game, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what everybody says, right?
Yeah.
We're not thinking about the next game, but this is Kirby Smart. He's looking to, I feel like that guy's a planner. He's got every detail worked out. I have a lot of faith in Georgia this year. I think they are going to take down Ohio State, but I can't wait. I hope that's the game because that will be the best game of the season.
Ohio State spent a boatload of money, won the national championship last year. They returned a lot. They are the best team in the country. Like you said, Scotty, on the defensive side, they've got guys I wouldn't want to run into on the field. Their offense can put up the numbers. I know it doesn't say that they lost 13-10 in the Big Ten championship, but they can put up points. I just don't know. They're the best team in the country in my mind, talent-wise, on paper and on TV when you see them. Ohio State beats Georgia, unfortunately. So that means we got a Texas Tech, Texas Tech, Ohio State final. You got an Oregon, Ohio State final. Oregon, Georgia final. Sorry, my bad. So you're Mr. Oddball.
Ducks meet their match. Georgia wins.
You got Georgia winning the national championship.
Dogs is another one.
SEC strong.
Yep. Oh, without question, the SEC is the best conference, without question. And they've got the best teams, and that's just the way it goes.
Who you got? Ohio State, Texas Tech.
I tend to agree with it. The SEC is the best conference, but my picks there's no SEC in the final. I think Texas Tech's going to win the championship this year. Wow, they are good. I think their offense is good and their defense is good, just like Ohio State. And I just think they have that moxie this year. I think the Red Raiders are going to win it all and kind of look down upon the SEC and Big Ten. Somebody on the outside is going to come win it this year, I think. So it's been a while. I think it's Texas Tech.
Scotty, you stole my thunder a little bit. I thought for sure you were going Ohio State.
Yep.
I think what Texas Tech is doing as an athletic program, I think they've fully bought into this NIL and they are getting after it and they're putting the pieces in the right places. I think they shock the world and they go and take down Ohio State.
So you think Texas Tech, because you said a few minutes ago, both of you guys, that Ohio State's the best team in the country. You really mean to say Texas Tech's the best team in the country?
Yeah, come on, you got to build some suspense, Mark. What are we
Yeah.
talking about here? Everybody says Ohio State's the best team in the country. Texas Tech Red Raiders take it down.
I'm
Everybody
with you,
would have
man.
said
Two of
that
us.
if Indiana didn't beat them. So technically, Indiana's the best team in the country. But Texas Tech is definitely not the best team in the country. So I think you guys, I can't wait to watch this over again in about 3 weeks.
It'll be fun.
So,
That
of course,
will be
everyone's
fun to
going to beat
watch.
us up and saying, how did that, we get all these comments. How did that last? And they usually about our picks. So,
Yeah.
and I've said it all that don't follow my picks because you're right. Every time I say Alabama, they lose. They don't cover.
I say we
If
might
I
have to put a little lunch on this. We might have to complete our brackets
I
and
feel
earn
like
some
you
Yeah.
owe me
points.
lunch for some
Nah,
reason.
you lost on the golf course. You lost
yeah.
your lunch on the golf course, which is typical. I know that's been a few weeks because it's been so cold here. We haven't been able to get out on the golf
That's a
course.
bummer.
Yeah.
But the good thing is with golf, right? As we turn the page a little bit, the new golf season's getting ready to start up. There's some craziness going on with these live guys, the PGA. There's still no
Yeah.
merger, but there's a lot of talk on how the PGA gets better to maybe bring back some of these live guys or not bring back some of these live guys. What are you looking forward most about the upcoming PGA Tour season? I know we got some big majors. We're all big golfers. What's a storyline or two you might be looking forward to with the golf season coming up around the corner after the holidays?
I haven't really started thinking about golf too much other than my own golf, which I've got back here. Everybody can see.
Well,
my
those are
clubs.
nightmares. Those aren't thoughts.
My clubs are in where it's nice and warm. It's it's been snowing. It's about 30 degrees here right
Trying
now.
to get a new relationship with those clubs, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we sit together every day and I talk.
You have
to 'em,
coffee
and-
in the morning?
Yeah, I got a new bag for her, thinking that maybe that'll do it. Now my clubs are broken, and they never work that well. I'm looking forward. I actually want to see what does Scotty do this year because he's been so dominant, and there's so many young players that are playing so well right now, or have been playing well.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if he can maintain again. He's doing stuff that we haven't seen since what, Tiger?
Mhm.
So it'll be, and he's got about 20 more years before he reaches
We even come
Tiger
close.
status.
Like
Yeah.
that's the crazy thing. Scotty's on this absolute tear the last 2 years, and it's not even close to a Tiger-esque run, right? Tiger
Yeah.
was just that much different. We were talking a little earlier
Yeah,
about
yeah. Go ahead. You do it.
about Brooks, and I saw an interesting thing that Brooks is considering not playing the 2026 season for the Live.
So he'll get sued
Uh,
if I live.
I don't know if he'll get
Or
sued.
does
I
he
don't.
just give money back.
I
or
don't-
How does that
Or he
work?
won't get paid. Who knows how much he's got.
Yeah, I don't know what's tied to it. But his contract only runs through 2026. There's some discussions that he might be unhappy with the Live and wants to come back to the PGA Tour. One of the things I heard to go along with that is the PGA Tour should reach out to him and waive his 1-year suspension and just say, come on back and play on the PGA Tour. Thoughts on that?
I think that'd be great. I like Brooks Koepka, and I'm a PGA Tour over a Live guy myself. And the Live people would probably say, "Go ahead, that won't affect us." But I do think that would affect them because he has 5 majors?
Five
And
majors.
He has 5 majors. That's a lot of majors that you're pulling away when you're starting to rank these golfers on majors. And the Live really, really sold the fact that Brooks Koepka was coming over. Probably more than any player going there.
Outside of Bryson. I think
Outside of Bryson.
I think Bryson might have been the big name.
Yeah, Bryson might have been now he is the
Yeah,
biggest
for
name.
sure.
But when they came over,
Mhm.
I
Well,
wonder,
yeah.
I wonder whose contract's bigger. It'd be interesting to know. But that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, I know the PGA Tour is making some changes this year, or at least discussing some changes as well. See how that goes. As big golfers, I'm just excited for it to get back on tour in Hawaii.
Yeah, I'd like to see all those guys. We miss having them, but in my heart and soul, I feel like telling all of them don't ever come back because you guys made that decision. You chased the money. You did all that. Rather than try to make this program better, what we have, you decided to grab $100 million, which nobody's faulting you for it, but you're not going to be rewarded now to come back to the PGA. So Brooks, sorry, dude, you're out of here.
You're saying your boy. I know you're a big Bryson fan now.
I love me some
So
Bryson.
if they said, Bryson, you can come back to the tour, you'd say no?
Would say no. I'd say, Bryson, no, you had an opportunity to stay here. You were because these guys were some of the best players in the world at the time that they went over there and took their $100 million. So stay over there. Just do your thing. And now we've got a lot of these young guys that you're seeing play in the PGA, and they've got an opportunity. Okay, so they're not Brooks. Yeah, I can do without it. I mean,
I just think the live tour is struggling so much for talent. I think they had people jump ship early because there were big dollars being thrown around, and you could see for another year they've taken major losses. They're not making the money they thought they were going to make, and they thought you could just throw it around and it'll boom. But I think golf is a game of traditions, and their way of doing it, right? They are no longer doing 54 holes; they're going to 72 holes, right?
Are they? Are they going to
I
change?
believe
this year?
they're going to 72 holes on a live tour. So now you're
You're getting closer to being what it was before.
So what's it going to be called?
Shut
Because
down.
isn't live mean 54?
Yeah.
So what are they going to
Think about that, Mark.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's a 54-hole tour, and they're going to
It's gonna be-
72.
It's gonna be Vic VXX was it 70? So, I don't know.
No, I think those guys, they knew what they were doing when they went. Bryson knew it, which I love Bryson just because of all the, I mean, I told you I watch the YouTube stuff, and I just enjoy the guy. And plus he is such a competitor, and I like that too.
Yeah.
But with going back to Brooks, he just seems a little bit more bitter every time you see him. It's like he's
I
gotten
think he
more
regrets
bitter.
his decision.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of regret there.
Yeah. I know what I would like? Bring Brooks and Bryson back, and I would never think about the people on that tour again.
There's nobody else you would
There's
want.
nobody else. I mean, they don't need anybody else. And you know who else? Know who their third most popular person is there? They love to pump him up, and I don't think he's that popular for people who follow PGA Tours. Taylor Gooch. They love to pump him up. He
I
won
thought
it
you were gonna
last
say
year, right?
Phil.
The whole live, and yeah.
Yeah, you got Phil and those guys. Phil, Sergio, they can all stay away.
Yeah, I mean, Phil's what? Phil's older
Bubba's
than me.
over there, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, he's a senior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just-
well, yeah. We'll look forward to golf coming back.
yeah, golf. I can't wait to get back on the golf course. It's
Yeah.
been too cold. Hopefully, it warms up a little bit. Speaking of the cold,
Are we going to try to get out and play? Because we were looking at the weather report. It's like
I think we're
38
off
degrees.
until the new year.
yeah, I don't think it's going to be better. It's going to get worse before it gets
Unfortunately.
better. Speaking of the winter, there's one thing I'll bring up, talk a little bit about, because it's the best time of year in the baseball outside of games being played. Is the winter meetings are going on right now,
Oh, okay.
and there's some hype around some big names being signed and some potential trades. One guy I want to bring up because we talked about him is Bryce Aldridge. His name is being tossed around as his number one prospect in baseball, and the Giants put him on the table last night. So he's
Well, because they have a large amount of they have a gluttony of first basemen.
a first baseman DH.
Yeah, first baseman DH
Yeah.
there. So they might think he has the most value
Mhm.
to move, so they're looking to get a lot back. I'm guessing.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well,
I'll follow
you're not
like you.
getting money for Devers. You're not getting anything for Devers. And if they keep Eldridge, it's because they're going to do a split between first base and DH.
Mhm.
I just thought it was interesting. I saw his name went on the market and as a trade option, and my Red Sox are in search for a first baseman, so there's potential there. But there's another big name, actually two, Skubal and Skeens. Both guys are being talked
Man,
about
that'd be
in
crazy.
trade talks. So it's just interesting to see. This is the big time where everything really heats up. It's kind of like the draft in the NFL. There'll be a lot of chaos. Some guys signing for some money and seeing what happens. So hopefully let us know if there's anybody you'd like us to talk about, any sports you'd like us to talk about. But other than that, you got anything else today for this week?
Feeling pretty good. I thought Devers was on more than he was just on a half-year contract.
They absorbed all of his contract, which is like 11 years and
Oh,
300
man.
million.
And so, I mean, why is this even a discussion with him? You know?
He's stuck with the Giants, and that's kind of why they know they're not getting much for him. His stock tanked when he left the Red Sox when they traded him, and I said it was probably a great move. But the Giants they absorbed the entire contract, so they're not getting anything for him, even though Aldridge might be the play because he's young, 19, 20 years old. You've got team control at very minimal money. But like you said, he's got a lot of value because of that. So they're going to ship him out and try to they need arms. They need to spend a little money on some other pieces if they're going to compete. So,
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
for
That's
sure.
fun. We'll have to get a little more into the baseball conversation
Yeah, it's
once we
good.
get to
After the new year,
February, March time.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
spring training, baby.
Right on.
All right. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at CYA Sideline Podcast. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
See you.